Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of BC Buckets. I'm Matthew Brune, and joining me once again is Colin Mitchell. Today, Colin, we have a pair of elite shooters. We did
Okay.
one earlier, we did Trey Johnson and Con Knipple. This is not that in terms of players, but in terms of shooters, I think that's probably the top four shooters just off the top of my head in this draft. Like those two and these two, you put them together. That's maybe the top four. Maybe I'm missing somebody.
Mhm.
Regardless, Lanier out of Tennessee, a senior, 23 and a half years old, 6'4". Koby Brea, a senior out of Kentucky, 6'6", 22 and a half years old. Both of them transferred to their SEC schools this past year. Lanier from North Florida and Koby Brea from Dayton. Do you have a preference between these two? Because I know at this point we're talking about second round picks most likely, or at least high second round picks. Who are you comfortable kind of taking a shot on here?
I think I'm higher on Chaz Lanier just by him being shorter and not quite the. I mean, he's still a really good shooter, but Kobe Brea is more knockdown, I'd say.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna go with Chaz Lanier just because he's a little bit more dynamic than Kobe Brea is, and that's not to say that he's really dynamic because he's not. But there's a little bit more that you can kind of work with over Kobe Brea in my eyes.
Yeah, I think Lanier is, like, to use your word, a little bit more dynamic. Like, there's a little bit more off the dribble game. We saw some mid range jumpers, like especially like I think like on movement and stuff like that, coming off pin downs and screens and so on and so forth. I can see the linear aspect of it. I'm going with Kobe Brea though, and
Okay.
we were talking before this show about our big boards. Kobe Brea
No.
consensus is 45,
Yeah. Where do you have him?
31,
31. Wow. I mean, that's not.
31.
I mean, like you said, we're talking about our boards right now. Chaz Lanier's 30 for me, so I can't even really be talking about that. But
So Kobe Brea, um, so this is why I'm higher on him. First of all, I think there is an argument that he is the absolute best shooter in this class.
mhm,
I mean, and this is from a career standpoint, I don't think it's particularly close. Like he is career 43.4% on 730 attempts. Even if you just do the last 2 years of him at Dayton, where he shot in 2024, shot almost 50% at
mhm,
Dayton, transferred to Kentucky, and then shot 43.5% this past year. Like, this is a guy who at every stop, at every turn has been an elite shooter. He's also shot 91% from the free throw line this year and averaged 11.5 points per game. Kobe Brea, to me, not just because of the shooting, he is a one-dimensional player, right? So that's where we'll go right away. Like, I think he's a one-dimensional player. I'm not expecting him to do much else. But I think the size is actually more impactful than what people give it credit for, because like watching him, like defensively, he had some moments. Like defensively, I
mhm.
didn't think he was a cone out there. I didn't think he was getting blown by every single time. I thought he actually held his ground sometimes, and he's strong. He's 22 and a half years old, so he's older than most of the guys he's playing against. So I thought defensively he had flashes. The shooting is great. Team players were closing out really strong on him, so he was able to kind of get to the mid range at times. When he did get to the rim, we saw him dunk, like be able to get up and throw down some dunks. So the athleticism, while not great, is there. And I just think he's smart. I think he's a smart passer and a smart player overall. So I'm fine with taking a swing at Kobe Brea just because of the shooting, and because I think he can find his way in there as not a defensive liability.
So you're buying he can do exactly what he's doing in college in the NBA.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. And
Like,
I don't disagree with that. I mean honestly, I mean, you said he was 45 consensus. He's 37 on my board right now. So
yeah.
I would agree in that. Yes. I just think that Chaz Lanier, watching him, he really reminded me a lot of Malik Beasley on the Pistons. So it's just like that's what I saw and that's what I imagined. Almost six man of the year type player. I mean, obviously, I don't think Chaz Lanier is gonna quite do that, but I think
Yeah.
shooting the ball, he can shoot the ball. He can shoot it from deep. He, like you already mentioned, can kind of create his own shot a little bit. Where you do have the problem though is that he's not a super dynamic player that can create his own shot, and he's not really going to be a playmaker for you.
No.
So if you're not buying a shot as much as Kobe Brea, which I would agree and say that Kobe Brea is a better shooter, you still need to think that Chaz Lanier, like I do, can be an elite shooter and then also continue to I guess develop his game a little bit more. And I know obviously age is a problem here, but I think just his ability, slight better ability to get to the rim and draw contact is a positive. And I'm not going to pretend that he gets to the rim a lot. I mean, 13% of his finishes came at the rim, so
Yeah.
not a lot happening there. I do think question marks for him is obviously going to be his size at 6'4". He's a little too short to be a true wing, I
He does
think.
have
And he
longer
has,
arms though. I think it was 6'9" wingspan.
yes, it is. I
What I
have it
have
written
written
down
down.
somewhere. Yeah, 6'9" wingspan. But still, it's not like he didn't have like crazy stocks. What was it? I don't have it right up in front of me. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Blocks and steals.
Yeah,
Point
yeah,
nine
it's he
steals.
averaged 1. Yeah, about 1.1 blocks and 0.9
Yeah,
steals. So
yeah.
he's not going to be a defensive playmaker for you, and he's also not like an elite on the ball defender. So it's kind of like, can he be average? I hope so. I think so. That's why I'm kind of having him higher. But if he doesn't, then that's going to be a problem because I don't think he's going to be able to hold zone, especially against quicker guys, and he's a little too small to be on the wing. So
Yeah, the one thing I liked about him, I mean, you kind of laid out the question marks. I have the same question marks for him. But I did like when he got to the mid range, like he's able to get his shot off like in a variety of ways. Like he has like a natural fade when he gets there and a natural like drift to
mhm.
him that helps him get his shot off. So I did like that. And that I also thought, which is in a different way from Kobe, both of them were actually pretty good in transition. Brea just went straight to the 3-point line. Lanier, it was a little bit more 3 level in that
Mhm.
respect. So if you're betting on Lanier, you're betting on like him being able to do more than just shoot the ball. I'm not sure I can bet on that right now for either one of these guys, but I think with Brea, I'm at least getting a little bit more size, albeit the wingspan. I think Lanier he does has a lot bigger wingspan than Brea, which is
Yeah, I think
crazy.
Brea has
But
a negative wingspan.
yeah, it's like 6'5" or 6'6".
Yeah,
Might be
6'5", he's
even.
6'7".
Yeah.
So
So, yeah, that's and watching Brea try to do things off the dribble, like I watched the scrimmage they had for the NBA Combine, and he turned it over a couple times just because he was like trying to do too much. Like the passing is clearly not there, the dribbling is
mhm.
clearly just not there yet at an NBA level. So, I've seen, and the reason why I'm gonna have Brea this high because at 30, past 30 to me in this draft, I think there's like a clear drop off. Somewhere around 30. You could
Mhm.
argue whatever number you want. To me, 30 is that number. I'm just trying to find a guy that could get on a team and stick in a rotation,
What do you have, Chaz?
and Brea can do that. I have Chaz lower. I have Chaz 39.
Okay, so we basically flopped then. I have Kobe 37, Chaz 30 right now.
Yeah, so we flipped him.
So kind of.
Yeah, Lanier's interesting to me because if he was a little younger, I could maybe say, well, this can develop, or maybe he can do
Mhm.
this. But he's been in college for so long. I struggle to see him like really developing here. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
uh,
I think Lanier's floor is lower. I think I'm trying to buy that upside a little bit more, but I think Kobe Brea, I do agree that he can come in and just kind of you can just kind of replace, or not replace, but he can just do exactly what he's doing in college and the NBA. I mean, the
for
shooting
ins-
will translate for sure, and then his size, all you're hoping for is that he can be a neutral defender.
for instance, like if we look at the second round real quick before we get to comps,
Mhm.
second round, pick 1, Minnesota, pick 2, Boston, pick 5, Philly, like pick 7, Pistons. I
Yeah.
mean, I could see one of these good teams. I mean, honestly, heck, the Hornets kind of need shooting too. So it's like teams need shooting. So I wouldn't be surprised if these guys went in the first 10 picks of the second round. It's just what do teams trust more? And based on everything I've read, most people are higher on Lanier. I'm just fine betting on the shooting of Brea. So for comps, what do you have?
Let's do Kobe Bryant first. I think you have to go with the obvious here. Duncan Robinson is probably the most obvious
Yeah,
1-to-1.
that is the
I mean,
obvious one.
literally the only thing that Duncan Robinson can do. I think your hope is that Kobe Bryant can be a better defender, I think, than Duncan Robinson, but I think that's a 1-to-1 comp. I also wrote down Gary Trent Jr. Maybe that's something he can maybe develop more into, but that's kind of like the, I guess, projection, if you
Well,
want to call it that.
my ceiling comp for Brea, because I do have Duncan Robinson written down, but my ceiling comp, Pat Connaughton. Now
That's interesting.
I think Pat Connaughton is better than Brea at just about everything. But
Yeah, yeah.
if if Brea is gonna reach his ceiling, I think that is kind of that is an ideal situation where you're playing off of like a Giannis and you can
Mhm.
just shoot the hell out the ball.
Yeah.
Lanier was interesting. I did kind of the same thing. I have one realistic one and one ceiling one, I guess you could call it. My
Okay.
realistic one was Seth Curry. I just look at a guy who can shoot on movement like that, and didn't really stick in the league for that long, but kind of bounced around and found
Yeah.
some homes, found some lineups where he could get in with some decent teams and so on and so forth. So that was my first one.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, again, Malik Beasley is what I wrote down. It's just
Okay.
that's what I saw. So just
You
a guy
know,
that can make tough
in,
shots.
in terms of style, like I kind of see Beasley. In terms of style, I kind of see Buddy Hield. Think on that for a second.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. That's an interesting one.
Like the both of them have like a little not funky releases, but
Yeah.
unique-ish, I'd say,
Yeah.
releases.
Lower-ish for
Yeah,
sure.
lower-ish, a little bit. So like I see a little Buddy Hield just in terms of like, and they have like it's fairly quick at times against contests. Like I think they can do it off the dribble a bit. So the one thing I will say
I like
Lanier is
that
I
comp a
like
lot, actually.
what was that?
I like that Buddy Hield comp a lot, actually.
Yeah. And obviously, if he turns out having a career of Buddy Hield, I'll be very surprised because Buddy coming out of college was a superstar. But
Yeah.
I still think like the play style is kind of translates a little bit. So, all right, there you go. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will talk to you later.